This is exactly why it's so hard for people to connect reactions to the foods that we ate that may have been the triggers. If we aren't sure yet of what we're allergic to or what we react to if we have mast cell activation syndrome and or histamine intolerance. Because yes, it can take up to 48 hours for a person to have an anaphylactic reaction to something that they ate 2 days before. I have seen this in multiple sources. I only use reliable, respected sources like JAMA, the NIH, Allergy and Asthma Network, the Food Allergy Research Network, information from Dr. Lawrence Afrin, who is a world-renowned mast cell activation syndrome specialist who practices privately in the New York area, and Very Well Health, Medical News Today, both of those, because they all of their stories are, even if they're written by like a layperson like me who happens to have a very strong interest in health writing, the stories are reviewed by MDs. So anything that we may have gotten wrong or failed to include, the doctor makes sure it's there. So if you know if it's got an, the byline says an author's name and there's no MD after the name, you have the assurance of knowing that the story was checked by an MD, and it always shows the MD's name. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the story, it will show you when it was last updated and what the update was, and it will also show you links to the resources and the references that they used. So when I say something and share something out loud, like with words, it's because I know it's true. So, like, for example, I've been allergic to basically myself in the world for so long that I generally know now when I'm going to get screwed up. And when I do get screwed up, it's generally easy for me to look back and go, oh, right, that. But I'm still learning other things because, for example, this past summer, I ate 2 bites of a banana leaf wrapped tamal because that's how they're traditionally prepared in other parts of Latin America, not Mexico. My family is from Mexico. I've only ever eaten corn husk wrapped tamales, and I have no idea why the 3 full-grown Mexican adults in the room, including myself, and one being, both 2 of us being first generation and one of them being from Mexico, but hadn't been there since he was like a child. Not one of us even like was like, oh, that doesn't look like what you usually eat. It didn't occur to any of us. Like we totally weren't even logic button off. All right, so I just took 2 bites because we bought these for my daughter, and mind you, we bought them from a Mexican grocery store. I actually personally am pissed that they didn't like openly say, hey, by the way, our tamale lady, she's from Argentina or Cuba or Guatemala or whatever country or region where banana leaf wrapped tamales are like the norm. Like that would have been cool to say because I think our logic button got turned off because we were buying and had walked into a Mexican grocery store. Long story short, I wake up the next day. Literally, I was fine. Usually I have reactions immediately. I know within like 2 bites that I'm going to react to something. Or because my symptoms start. I either get like dry mouth, I get like impending doom, I start to swell, like visible signs. And that didn't happen this time. I just took 2 bites to make sure that it wasn't too hot or not spicy enough for my daughter before I handed it over to her. And she was thrilled with them because they were actually really good. And I don't remember eating anything else that day that is on my like, yeah, we better watch out for that list. You're playing Russian roulette. I woke up the next day with literal pinholes for airways. Opened my mouth. I felt like I had strep. I felt my throat was hot. Drinking water was painful. And I opened my mouth, went in the mirror, turned my camera around, zoomed in, took a picture, stuck my tongue out, did the thing, and took a picture of my esophagus so I could send it to my friend who is latex allergic and a nurse with 3 medical degrees, and was like, this is bad, right? And she was like, yeah, have you epied? And I was like, I woke up like this literally 5 minutes ago. Was I smart enough to go to the ER? No, because it just doesn't occur to me to go to the ER, because every time I've gone for mast cell activation syndrome, I've got doctors going, yeah, well, you can breathe, so, why are you here? Or it's all in your head, or it's anxiety, or whatever. And both times that I've gone so far since I've been where I live now, because I've already been at home, all they do is charge me a stupid amount of money for hooking me up to a blood pressure monitor, monitoring my heart rate, and waiting for the swelling to go down. And like, they don't even do an IV drip or like Benadryl famotidine drip, which was standard in Georgia whenever I had to go to the ER. Nothing. They do nothing. They keep me for 2 to 3 hours, and then after they're happy with like the swelling going down visibly, they're like, all right, here you go. Here's your paper script for an EpiPen. And, it's 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and the only place I can get it filled is the only 24-hour pharmacy that's close to us, 25 miles away one way. The last time my daughter and I went, we literally got home at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I knew it was at Tamal because my husband and I were like, at the same time, we looked at each other and we're like, that wasn't a corn husk. Yeah. But that being said, I just found out. I just found out that the laundry detergent that I thought was safe for me to use, because the packaging only lists 5 ingredients, all of which are safe for me. And the company was started by a mom, from what I know, a mom whose child had a severe reaction to, I'm not sure if it was a food or environmental trigger. I honestly don't know if the child survived. I really hope they did. I just know that that was the inspiration for this woman starting her company, and I only ever bought the plain, non-scented version of the detergent because that was the only one that I didn't have to worry about, I thought. Meanwhile, I'm still having reactions left and right, and my nurse friend messages me the other day and goes, because I woke up with like completely swollen face again, and I was a mess and had to epi upon waking up. And she was like, what are you using for washing? And I was like, and I named the brand, which I'm gonna have to do a video on soon so I can let everybody know. Sorry, I was wrong. And she's like, that one's not coconut allergy safe, babe. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I showed her, I took a picture of the back of the packaging showing the ingredients and sent it to her. And she replied with a link to the FAQ for the company's page, because usually I check everything, okay? Usually I check everything, but this had been recommended as a safe option in a coconut allergy group that I'm in, and logic was overridden. And well, she's like, even if you're not having like obvious reactions right after you get dressed, the more you expose yourself to this, the more you're actually, furthering the severity and progression of the allergy, and it could be contributing to why you're waking up so often with anaphylaxis. And the other thing that I just found out, because my doctor told me to put together an itemized list for all of my allergens, all of them. I'm at over 165 right now. I'm allergic to something called ethylene dichloride, which is a man-made synthetic material that is used as a preservative in medication, in medical supplements, medical supplements. It makes me allergic to entire classes of and families of medications. I can't do corticosteroids, antihistamines except for Benadryl. I can't do topical. I can't do asthma inhalers because it's in the propellant. I can't do. It's ridiculous how many things I can't do. My airway slammed shut when they were doing an upper endoscopy on me like 6 years ago, the second they got the scope down, because they have to lube it up to get it down there. And guess what? Ethylene dichloride is also in there. Oh, and by the way, that's why I'm allergic to latex, because it's a stabilizer, natural latex. So that's when I found out 2 weeks ago that I'm allergic to my H1 because it's a piperazine. Not one single doctor or allergist figured this out.